magic is imagination. We are moving into an age of manifestation. Things become actually less material, more ethereal. The golden dawn is when we awaken to this new station of life. What you think becomes real quicker. Regain our imagination, regain our inner child, and let that inner child out.
My name is Frank Castle, founding member of the music group Heist Click and New York City Neo Shaman. After a serious injury sidelined my career in 2013, I decided to set out on an adventure to search for myself with the help of the plant medicine Ayahuasca. What I discovered waiting for me was something I could have never prepared for. It was time for me to become something more, someone more. It was time I became fearless. In the darkest of nights, gonna let my light shine as my heart beats a rhythm with space and time. When the light starts to shine inside your third eye, you awake to the knowledge that you never die. I'm becoming fearless. What is up, everyone? It's your main man, Frank Castle, your sorcerer supreme, right here each and every Saturday night on Fearless. And I'm joined by my etherical translator and co-host, Paula Milo.
Hey, everyone.
Hey.
And joining us this week, special Fearless conversation, Fearless family member from way back in the day. Look at her, the Golden Lantern. Robert Hawley is in the house, the master of the mantra, bringing it to you live and direct right here out of the Boogie Down Bronx. Holy shit, it's turning into a hip-hop extravaganza. I don't know what's happening, but I'm filled with words, and they need to come out.
Do you think Robert Hawley is taller than Aaron Kessler? No.
Space Jesus.
Space Jesus.
How's he doing?
Space Jesus is a head taller.
He's taller than Robert Hawley?
He's got a bigger, well, I don't know if he grew his hair out.
How tall are you, Robert?
6'3".
That's it?
6'2", maybe.
Oh, snap. 6'2", 6'3", not big enough. I think Space Jesus is like 6.5. Maybe. I'll hit him up. We'll have to ask him. And
Okay.
it looks like I'm gonna have to tell this to both of you tonight to speak directly into microphones, or no one's gonna fucking hear a word you say.
All right.
That goes for you, Polly Poo.
Okay, I got it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. It's great to have you in house. Everyone, thank you for spending. We're just having a really good time. Thanks so much for joining us, being with us. Like, subscribe, share, pass the word around. Let them know we're here. Let me get this out of the way. What's going on? I hope everybody's been doing good.
Oh, this is a stone. Oh, I'm sorry. I just wiped.
That's Robert's.
Robert, I'm sorry. I just wiped the ashes with the paper.
So
Sorry.
thank you for spending this time with us. It's been an intense week, a rough week, and we made it through. I said to you, we wouldn't see you until after the full moon, and what effects would it have on what's been playing out. So without being a stick in the mud about what happened and to get all emotional and crazy, our cat Luna passed away on Thursday night in my arms after a very difficult battle with
Wednesday before the full moon.
Wednesday?
Right before the full moon.
Oh, that's right. It was 9:30.
Yeah. It was like an hour.
The night of before the midnight, right up to the last moment. Kind of like my grandfather waited until the portal was just wide open and then blip, like you only get a couple more days and then that's it. But if you make it through that, you'll keep going. She was unable to, and it's unfortunate. And it was very emotional, trying time this week. A lot of energies going forward that were maybe more than what we were used to experiencing. The emotional output made me look like I got punched in the face.
Oh, 2 days.
Crying.
It looked like me and Frank fought each other.
And no one won.
No one won. It was horrible. It was horrible. Today actually is well, I mean it just happened, so it's a devastation, but today actually I don't feel sad. Like terribly heartbroken,
Pull your chair up, they said. They
grief
want to see, they said
stricken.
they want to see your fucking face. Look, it says it right there. It's it is absolutely great to feel like I'm alive again, right? It's not everything's all pain and suffering, and there's a celebration. We were just talking about a celebration, the good things. Remember the good things.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like we keep forgetting, and we have hiding spots for her around the house where there's. Thank you, Mel. Where there's little Luna hiding spots, so we keep forgetting. And Frank thought he kicked her like yesterday. Remember, you thought you kicked her. I thought I pushed it.
Yeah, there's like images of where
it's
we think she's
terrible.
sitting, and
Dying.
yeah, it's rough. But one of the things I want to talk to you guys about really quick, and it's just something. It's a visual that I saw that fucking. It was very intense. So Luna, I was never able to touch Luna, so I was able to kiss her on the top of the head,
No, you were.
and they
Yeah,
call
and
it
get her
Luna
up-
kisses, and then
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
So I used to question all the stuff, but in the end, I was holding her, and she like melded into my heart. It was almost like my heart opened, like a Ghostbuster trap, and then the light went up, and then she fit perfectly in like a puzzle piece, locked in, and then she was like reaching from under my beard and touching my face and holding my hand and doing all this cool stuff. And I kept seeing her in my mind's eye, there was like a room of light, and we were all standing in it. It was just like went on and on. It was just light. And then she would walk out in front of me into the light. And I'm like, you can go. It's okay. Or you can stay and it's okay. You'll be with me, or I'll find you. We'll find each other again. It's okay. And she would run back to me scared, and then like climb up on my shoulder, and I was like the light body, and then she would run down and come out, and then eventually beings were coming out to meet her, like it's okay. And then you and I at the same time kind of was like, you can go, because everything at that point was about us, how we felt, and we wanted her, and we don't want to lose you. And but that's on the table. We don't want to lose you, but we want you to be in best optimum timeline for you. So whatever it takes for you, we'll be there when we're there again. You can do this. You can have your legs back, just like Grandpa. You could fly. You could do all this other shit. And she fucking went. I watched her just scurry off. She looked back, scurried up a little more, looked back again. I said, it's okay. I'm the light. I don't want to lose Luna, but Luna is never fully gone. The energy is her. So we had talked, and I'm going to keep it out of the tears about the good stuff. So Paula said, will I know her if she returns? And I said, yes, but you have to look for the similarities, and that's how you'll know. It'll be, and this is one I didn't tell you. Remember I said the cage smelled like her? Not the sick version. It was like the version after you cleaned her.
Yes.
It was almost like she smelled like a baby again before she died. Okay.
She did.
So I'll never forget that smell.
Yeah, because I washed it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it's appreciated. Believe me. And they're like, when she comes back, whatever she decides to come back as, if she comes back and chooses to be around you guys, it would be on you to recognize things. And they were showing me what things were, air quotes. So things were, Luna used to do this little thing where she'd take a step, wiggle her foot, like pick it up, wiggle it, put it down, almost like she was walking on ice.
Yeah.
She'd kick out, but then she would do this, I own this place, which you rarely saw, with the kickouts. So it was special. Like, oh, is she doing that because she's sick? Or is that a move that she does personally? And then they showed me a dog doing it, and then another animal, and then another animal. And I'm like, oh shit, okay.
It's a quirk.
That's something that's going to carry on.
Yeah. Look for it.
So that's how you're gonna know they come back. So I'm just glad to be at the position I'm in now, to have lived and learned and loved and learned more through example. I don't want them to be here to die for me to learn a lesson in my life, to know.
I get it. They have their own contract.
We argue shit like, so at what point do you do the mantra and heal the person? When do we get to do that? I don't know. Do you know? No, me neither. So, but they're like, it's fucking right there.
But we prolonged
So there's
it.
the sick cat. Can we do it?
We prolonged it. And
No, that one's on contract. Oh, that
she
one's on
has her own contract.
But then is that one to be healed? They're like, if that one's got the healing in its fucking contract, what? Oh, don't you understand? And I'm like, ah. So you're not really healing anyone. You're setting up a play. Because you're not,
Yeah.
are you healing or are they healing themselves? Right? And that this contract works and that one does. It becomes because we have a way of looking at your cat dies. You're like, fucking universe took my animal. Why'd you take my baby?
No,
But that's not the way to act.
I think.
But the first time it happens, you might act that way.
No, and
my fucking life, you know.
But we
didn't do any of that.
But we saw patterns. Like, I think we just prolonged the inevitable because I think she was supposed to die as a kitten. And I think we stepped in,
intervene,
and that bought her a little time. And then, of course, right after she passed, I got nervous because I couldn't find all the pictures. And Frank was like, "Go check your old phone." Check the old phone, saw the pictures, so you could see in the pictures her decline, because she was doing so well for so long, and it was so hard. Everything was hard. It was like her karma was so thick. You could cut, like, I just can't even explain it. You can't. Hello, Lisa. You can't cut through it. And everything, like, nothing was easy. Earning her trust, getting her to eat, getting her to take medicine, getting her to eat again, getting her how she liked to eat, getting over her fear of the other animal, fear of everything that was happening. And I feel like Frank and I, we overcame each hurdle, and it was like, okay, we could do this.
But we were the whole time I had no experience in something like this. I even screamed like a child. I apologized to Paula, like, oh, did she just die in my fucking arms? What the fuck? And then I thought in my head, well, where would you want her to die?
What's better than that?
So I was like, oh, well, I get it. So a different thing happened. Right. I was hyper sad, but in full realization that
best case scenario, we were given a shit hand, and
but played it.
We played it, and we played it the best we could.
Homie, at one point that was like a Pulp Fiction movie. I swear to God, I was like lowercase g, freaking the fuck out.
With the IV bag in the living room, the IV bag that we had. You don't know. So we're glad she's not suffering anymore. We're glad she's not in pain anymore. But
so, do you guys ever think like her being here was like a test for you guys to assist you in overcoming some awful shit?
So I had thought about that, and I said, why should the little one have to suffer? So I know what holding a child, a baby dying like in my arms. Did I really contract that? Like, I bug out on it, and they're like, well, you went through it, so apparently you did.
I agree with Robert. I agree with what you're saying. It could have been a test for Frank and I, because all of these things are happening on top of other things, and Frank and I could very easily have fought over it.
Yeah,
because it's all about controlling your emotions, man. When you get into those realms, if you're fucking, you can create.
Yeah, immediately manifest something wacky if you're scared, or if you're like,
you guys like surviving, so they got to throw some real deep shit at you guys. You know what I mean? The average person can stub their toe, or like they'll spill a coffee on their lap, and that's enough. Like,
it ruins everything. Fuck.
I think you guys need some deep shit to test you, man. Maybe.
No, I think there's a lot of truth in that, because it was a big test. It was a test of
feels like a test
for me in particular, my own selfishness. And I even said to Frank, if by Thursday she's not doing any better, we're putting her down.
By the third day, I was checking myself on a check yourself, Frank meter, if you can do more.
I know.
Because I was freaking out. Like, am I not doing enough? Should I do more? And they're like, 2 days before, I was telling Paula, but I didn't tell her until she passed, that they said she gave up 2 days ago, and she's just laying it out. and they were all walking away with their hands up. She's like, what are you talking about? And I was like, the beings helping were like, she's out.
She has until
So there's
the
no
full moon. And I said, okay.
surgery and this and that,
she-
nothing.
But if she has until the full moon to make a decision, I have until the full moon to do everything I can to help her.
To make it best it can.
And that's what we did. We did everything we could. And I knew, I saw
Shit,
it.
if I could die the way she passed, I would be grateful beyond grateful.
It was
being held by Pop while
believe
you're
me.
wrapped in a beautiful blanket. She never looked and smelled better than she did
It
at
was
that
a
moment.
textbook.
It was weird.
It was a textbook passing. It was like if Frank and I were going to put a training document together on how to care for and lose a sick animal. That would have been classic textbook, everything going absolutely the way it's supposed to go. And it was scary how well,
when you're in it, you can't believe it.
how well Frank and I were like, pee pad, you know, damp washcloth. Like we were just like taking, just in sync, taking care of her. And it's funny because all the other cats understood what was going on, because no one gave a problem. And it really gave Frank and I the time that it took, because
like to have the experience without being interrupted.
Luna was a big responsibility.
I got no phone calls during that time.
No, because the universe,
and it was
knew.
hours. It was 2 days of hours of ridiculousness.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so
It was terrible.
It was terrible, but it's something different happened this time. There wasn't like, oh, why my life, and you take the babies from us, and
because we got complete
it was
closure.
Something different.
It was complete closure. It was a textbook situation, and I'm not saying this to cheapen it in any way. I'm saying that
you wouldn't have believed it unless you were watching it.
If God could create a test, like you said, if God could create a test for you, the universe could create a test for you, and you have to take this test. This was like the test you wanted to take. Like this was, we have one chance to do what we have to do, and we're taking this one chance. And on Wednesday, when I had said to you, if by Thursday, that's it, we're taking her in.
Yeah, she was looking too rough.
She went Wednesday, and
she went the next day. Yeah,
the unit, and thank you, entities had told Frank it's going to happen by Thursday. If anything happens, it's going to happen by Thursday. And I said, okay, no problem.
And she just shriveled up like,
no. But this is, I have until Thursday, but I will not be selfish and wait longer than Thursday. And the universe kept its word, because everything they told Frank played out. And I was grateful for that.
Once again, I don't channel, right? So, all right. What someone does while they're channeling could be the same said as if they were, you say you were the entity and you just sat down in the chair, in an etheric chair, and you were like, hey, Frank, I need you to tell the audience tonight, blah, 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 because I won't let them in me, but I'll just turn around and go, okay, just say it slowly, because it's much faster when it's mental. And then I'll just turn around and say it.
Right.
Because they're standing right there. So for me, I'm just like, where other people will channel that information and then have to figure out whether it's real or not. I'm just having the conversation in the room, so it never leaves like this. It's always like this.
A conversation.
Like, you want to talk to me? Just sit down. We're going to talk right now. What do you have to say? Okay, tell me. Okay, are you slow? There we go. This is what he said. This is why he said it. Why? Point. Show me. Give me an example. Oh shit, that. How do you get that fucking detailed? Unless, and I was telling my father this today, what if on that level, it's just you projecting to you what you need to see at that moment to be the teacher. And it's always just you, and there's nothing else there.
I don't think it matters how you get there.
I know it doesn't matter, but people want, is it really there? Is it you having a mental hallucination, but it works, and I don't understand that?
I don't know.
Is it your consciousness?
Look, I can't say.
Man. That's why I never really talk about my trips. You know what I mean? That's because I'm not sure. Like, I don't know. Is Ganesha like?
Is that Ganesha?
Or like when I first started doing that and seeing them float in, I thought it was the real being. Then I'm like, how can this motherfucker be floating in on me and be everywhere? And then you
I
realize
saw
it's
Buddha
just
like
an
that.
energy, because I wasn't speaking with them. You would float in, and I do this thing where it's like kind of like West Side Story, where we like circle around each other, like I'm like whoa, 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 and then like we start spiraling and then fucking like unite somehow and shit.
Yeah, it's like dancing almost at one point. Yeah.
And,
That's a good explanation. West Side Story, the way they move.
Yo, man, every time I
the
pop
dances.
in a realm, I'm always like that. I'm like, all right, like I don't move and I'm looking around like fucking, you know what I'm saying?
You keep everyone at bubble distance,
yeah.
so they don't come into your bubble. Yeah. Because some of them have no chill. They'll get right up in your shit. Hello, like, no, thank you. But either way, it doesn't matter if you're getting the information. It's helping you, not hurting you. In other words, it's not sending you into a douchey rabbit hole where it's tricking you. Like, we want nothing more than for you to rise. That's it. Like, I used to get asked on TFR all the time. Well, all these beings and these fucking entities, they're all talking shit. And I'm like, the only ones I listen to even remotely, and it's not like I do what they say. No, the ones that want you to level up and they love you don't tell you to do anything.
No.
They don't go, you have to do this right now. They don't fucking do it. They sit there and send love at you, and they only want the best for you. It's everyone else that's talking shit. That's the problem. The ones that are like, if you don't come into this fucking orange room right now and break down that orange door, you're literally not going to get into Ascension. And you're like, what? How could I be not getting if I'm everything?
Yeah.
And they go, oh, fuck, he knows. And I go, back up. Just back up. Right? It's the weirdest shit, though. But these are the tests. So how do you know? Like earlier, I told you the story. When I met Ganesha, I had put my friend in under multiple times and it looked like it wasn't working. So I drank to see if it was the tea, and it hit me like a train. And they were like, dude, what the fuck? So I went in the bedroom. I was sitting on the bed. I was arguing with Paula about what was happening to them and how I felt terrible. Nothing was working. And they came all this way and and I heard dum, 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 dum. And I looked up and I saw Ganesh for the first time ever. But I already knew Shiva and Kali. I knew them.
Yeah, and he already knew Paula was telling him exactly the same thing.
He took me
too,
down.
But, I'm not blue.
He like jumped on my chest and he weighed so fucking much. And Paul will tell you, I went back on the bed and it depressed. And I was like, yo, I can't. And he goes, I'm sorry. It's so great to meet you. I've been waiting so long for this, but this is going to happen. Right. And I was like, oh, like this is some jailhouse shit. Anywhere. So my feet were sticking straight up in the air. And there was a dude, an elephant blue being man sitting on me. And I could not get up. Couldn't get up. No, you're not getting up. No. So was he real? I mean, my feet were sticking up. The bed weighed extra, but could it not be just your higher self or something else? I mean, I don't know. Yeah. What if it's just you, the hand of you holding you in place, but it's Ganesha
projecting it in on yourself
to help you learn?
Well,
because that's what I mean. Some people need it. Like you see a lot of shit. You see Spider-Man and fucking.
Well,
they said that's necessary because of my mental.
Like some people need that shit to see. Like I don't. And like you speak with them in these weird, you know what I mean? A lot of times I'll see them and it's just, and you feel the energy. I don't say shit.
I think I have nervous talk.
Yeah, and you're asking questions. That's why nobody ever, any other motherfuckers that are deep diving, all these guys that are taking, nobody's asking questions like you, dude. I've never heard any fucking people on the internet.
I ask weird questions.
You know what I mean, dude? It's crazy, man.
They asked me one time some weird shit.
Like nobody's asking them questions. People always just stand there in awe, and if you know what I mean?
Well, that's all right. I get the awe from it's momentary because I know what happens next because I've gotten slapped so many times. So you sit in the awe, and now the next thing you want to do is fall to your knees because it's so powerful. Meanwhile, they're like powerful, yeah, but trying to show you, yo, man, you're powerful. And if they're not doing that, I wouldn't fuck with them. But you have to ask questions. Why would you go? If someone said to you, you can ask me anything, and then you're in a place where there's 100 things going on, minimum, or taking your awareness off your position, and you have no clue. And I'm like, well, let's get to work. You have no questions. Well, do what you got to do. And you're like, wait, where am I? What am I doing? It's like, well, what do we actually do at work today? So you don't even know, but you're like, if you have questions, ask, and you're not asking. So when you go to the other side and you see all that shit, why wouldn't you ask the being walking with you? And you're like
I've been on ships like a year ago. I was up on some ships and fucking they're doing the buddy. Oh, we're buddies, like, and they got your arm around you, and I'm like kind of pretending just to. I'm like, I don't, and then they stop fucking with me. So I'm thinking maybe
they don't want to freak you out,
I don't know.
or
they were like, because I didn't, you know what I mean? I don't know, like they were faking it or something. I'm very suspect, you know what I'm saying? So like,
well, when I met you, the light beings attacked me. I thought they were light beings, and then they were like holding me down, and then I saw you, and you were a light being, and you knew the difference. Soon as you saw the other light being, you went, oh, it's like Project Bluebeam. They say if the government's
really good. Is that the rap flavor?
No, it's not
That's-
the rap.
no, that's just the straight Dutch Master Killer.
Oh man, that's very
So that's-
tasty.
What did
That's
I don't know
the
what that
wait,
was.
that's the sherbet Skittles.
I thought it was a flavored fucking rap.
No,
Sorry
it's
to
flavored.
disrupt you.
no, it's okay. Take the
So I didn't see you that low. Sorry.
that's
So yeah, I ask these questions because I won't be left in the dark ever again. You as a federal inspector,
I always ask questions.
I was saying this. I think I was telling Ellen this. You have a whole fucking inspection to do, and you look at like grapes, right, or blueberries in those big containers. Okay, if you had a truck full of those, a giant 18-wheeler loaded with just those, and I said to you, you have to pull out, you have to count the cases, and then out of each case you have to have, then you have to divide out, so you need up to 15 individual randomized samples throughout this place. And you're like looking at me, and then I go, and out of each case I need you to count out 100 blueberries. Now you're looking at a form, and I'm telling you to do all this shit, and then I leave you. Now there's all this stuff. They start bringing the berries out, and they're putting them out in front of you. Now, come on, Inspector, let's go. And you're like, I don't know what's going on. I'm shutting down. So the boss would come back out and watch you and see how you do. And they're like, no, we understand this happens. We're going to teach you how to not to do what you just did. And I go, oh, thank God, you're going to teach me. They go, okay, what does it say on the form? And right at the top, and I said, it says name and date. And they're like, fill out the date. That's it. So I'm like, what? They're like, fill out the date.
That's where you start one.
Then mark the truck with
2.
the date.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, okay. After they run through the 10 things I need to do, you could have brought out 1,000,000 billion berries or had that inspection done in 40 minutes, hands down 20 minutes if I got a guy working with me fast. No longer is there confusion because you go 1, step 2,
Right.
step 3. Okay, so they taught me how to do that. So now I'm on the other side and I'm looking. Step 1, date. Okay, where am I? Who are you? What are you looking at? Why would you be touching my toe right now? Why is there a tentacle sticking out of my ass? I'm serious. Why is the tentacle sticking in people's backs, but it's in my butt? Are you guys trying to be fucking funny? Because I'm not see, it is funny, but when you see it, you're like, that's not funny. That's some Matrix shit where they put one in your mouth and one up your ass, and you're like, oh, Japanese anime had AI doing this 100 fucking years ago. And you're like, oh my gosh, because it's really just us in here, and the AI took over the holographic program. The ghost in the machine is everywhere. So it's falsifying the entire thing. And then you got certain characters, reptilians, grays, other characters that go along with that. So it's like a hierarchy, the archons and this one, that one. And it's like, okay, that's crazy, bro. It's like, yeah, but you're God. Capital G. Fucking source. Capital S. Oh, wait. So the S on Superman's chest means source because it's the Jesus character. Well, to them, it means hope. Okay, that works for me. Okay, you put that shit on your chest and you give everyone hope now that you can do what I can do. Oh, I'm beginning to get this now. So when I say I talked to Spider-Man, I'm going to tell you, I didn't realize this until you were saying it. They're like telling me, Frank, you know why we send the characters to you? Because you'll fracture at those moments if you don't talk to someone, and there's no one for you to talk to. Because that's when I was alone at my grandmother's yard, and I was just drinking ayahuasca, walking out into the backyard and doing all meeting angels and going, you don't exist, motherfucker. You know, like.
Yeah, but your mother heard that conversation.
I know.
She heard 2 people.
2.5 hours. She goes, who's your friend that was over last night? Oh, such a beautiful voice. Who? I have no fucking clue. And you guys make a lot of noise, by the way. So I'm like, I drank ayahuasca last night, Ma. She goes, yeah, with who? And I go, no one. And she goes, you had a full evening conversation with the most beautiful sounding person.
It was an angel.
I said, okay, ayahuasca took me from the grandma's basement, and she was eye level with me and dressed beautifully and said, like, come with me. And I said, oh no, what are you doing? I didn't purge yet or whatever. Come with me. She was looking at me in the eyes, but she was shorter than me. So I was like, Mother, this is amazing. You're not like this big grandiose thing. I still feel the same. Oh my God, it's her. But you're making me feel really part of the family. Like I can approach you and I love you. Give me a hug and a kiss. Oh, look, it's Mom or whatever. She goes, come with me. Like, yeah. And she grabs my arm. And I'm like, oh shit. And walks me up the fucking stairs, which are mad scary at 2 a.m. and shit. I go outside. I open the door. She's like, come on out. I have someone that wants to meet you. And I'm like, okay. And I have a awning, red awning
at his mom's house.
At the house. And then my mother's window is right over the awning.
Her bedroom window is right over the awning.
I look up and I see feet materializing, coming through the awning, glowing. And I'm seeing it live and I'm feeling it in my hands. They're like the crackling. And I'm like, oh, what the fuck is this? And then boom, I said, wait, you don't look like they draw you. That was my thing. I was like, you're an ain't. What are you? Did your God send you to me? And he goes, what? Did your God send you here to me to give me some fucking shit or something? He goes, you actually sent me. I go, how fucking I send? What's going on? He's like, it's a lot easier if you just, and he fucking touched me. He's like, let me touch you. And his hand went overwrapped on me. And I instantly knew ain't the real from the mimics. And I've seen the mimics before and I thought they were the real. And then I was like, holy shit, wait a second. The AI is mimicking everyone. They're like, everyone. We're real. Yeah. And there's no God that sent anyone. You will like have to come meet me here at this moment, or there's going to be some issues. He goes, you got to stop telling people we don't exist. We're literally like your fucking boys in the army. Like, we're here for you. And Paul used to go, Frank, all the angels you never fucking call to, they're all unemployed. They're just sitting there.
They're waiting for work.
When now, I'm not making fun of anyone, but you go to Home Depot, there's guys waiting to work, right? Yeah. So there's the angel sitting right there. You need some angel shit done, right? Yeah. But you're driving, they're right there, right? Pull over, fucking angels, get in the car. Scared. Let's fucking do some angel shit. Yeah. And I was looking at him going, wait, you guys are from the outside of the crack.
Yeah, and here Paula's again, once. Just say.
Like, you're not part of the system. You're part of the higher system, the high one. And then they're like, yeah, but you are in the higher system than us. Like, we're here to help. So I'm like, oh, so you know what's up. I'm the creator. You know that. Dude, that's how I roll. Like, when I start rolling with you, I'm like, oh, so I'm the creator. They're like, if you don't start thinking like that, without the cockiness, they're like, don't look at us and go, I'm the creator, bro. I'm going to turn into a fucking light body, homie. What are you doing? Are those wings? They don't look like they flap, those wings, where you just kind of project your flight and then teleport or something. And they go, dude, don't do that. I go, I know, but I am source in the body. And they go, yes, we need you to do that part. And we need you to, in your heart, believe it so strong that when that motherfucker shows up, and they were showing like the darkness, and the darkness was like, you're my bitch. And I'm like, no, I'm the creator. And it just fucking knows. And it walked away.
Robert Hawley, since you're here, I've been saying his full name because I love it so much since he got here today. Now I've heard this story like, I don't know, 20 times already. It's happened so long ago. I had just moved back to the Bronx when this happened. And I have to ask you, in that conversation with the angel that I know your mother heard, because
she talked about certain parts of the conversation.
She told me she heard another person talking.
Yeah.
So you can't take it back now. You already said it.
And she was a non-believer at the time. Like, yo, my son's losing his shit.
Yeah, and she's like, "Why
Yeah.
is this chick with him? Like, what was she? Did she
He's
fall and
talking
hit
in
her
the
head?"
backyard
Yeah.
to some lady that comes
Naked,
through
yeah.
a tree, and they're grounding and chakras. I don't
Yes,
know
you
what
don't
the
know.
fuck this means.
So
To have someone externally never getting fucked up, hearing that.
I never asked before, but I have to ask now, Robert Holy. Hold on 1 second. Hold it.
This must be good.
Did the angel at any point ever say,
Was Paul, Paula was right?
"Listen to Paula. Paula was right"?
No, they didn't say that. However, there was
Trust Paula.
no. We were talking back about
Trust Paula.
everything being real, but
Everything
that
being
was
real.
when that conversation started. So imagine me not quite that open yet. So as I seen the reality of it, I was like, oh, and they're like, it's okay. They love you. They're like, oh, it's all good.
They
but
don't all love you.
the angels like me a lot. But Paula is like the example for me. And they're like,
Robert Holy, I touched your crystal again. I'm so sorry.
Yo,
I keep
give it some
touching her.
vibes, yo. Hook it up with
Oh
some-
my goodness.
Yeah, give it some vibes.
that you got to have a little faith in what the people around you, because
Thank you. I'm ready now. Thank you.
all right, you can beat the video game on your own, but the game is Avengers. So you want to play as Wolverine, that's great, but you're supposed to beat it with me playing, you playing, you playing, you playing, you playing, and we're all the different characters. That's the real thing. And then how you your emotional output and how you deal with it. So you'll go through the same thing every level, and then when you're up here, you won't be screaming like you were down here. And they're like, do you get it now? This is like part of the loop in the cycle. You're not trapped in it, like life and death.
Right.
And death. Understand it, and then eventually you get an understanding for it and start to celebrate it instead, and see it where you see beauty, not in death, but in an event like we had here. You find beauty and joy in it. Like when my grandmother passed, I celebrated her. She was fucking sick forever, and then when she passed, all that stress was gone, and I'm like, and she can dance. When my grandfather couldn't walk, he died. The first thing he said to me when I saw him on the other side, he goes, "Hey, Frankie boy, I got my legs back." And I go, "Oh, you're dancing with grandma. Look at you." And they just danced. He didn't even want to talk after that. He was like, "I love you. Bye. I'm going to dance." And I was like, oh shit. That's why when she was like, "I wonder if Luna," and I'm like, yo, I watched Luna kind of go off. You got your legs back. It's time to just kind of go do it. But the weird thing, and Dad and I were talking about this today, and how do you feel about this? Every time I've been under and seen a relative of any kind, or not been under and just meditating and meeting them through that, and I say, "Why are you not reincarnating? Why are you not coming back?" And they say, "Well, all of you are coming here." And I say, "So that means we have to die and go to you?" And they're like, "Nah, you guys are walking up in here with the bodies." And I'm like, "What? How do you feel about that statement?"
I mean,
Because I don't know. I just
like, yeah, I mean, I think that's how it's gonna go, man. I think that's why a lot of people are croaking at the moment. You know what I mean?
well, the physical can't handle it,
Yeah.
but the ones that can handle it, what
And
are
I
we
think
gonna
we're
get to
gonna-
witness?
I mean, we're gonna come out with some kind of like, we're transforming still. So I think they're gonna we're gonna change, or we're gonna come out with some kind of elixirs, and you know what I mean. We're just gonna be. It's gonna take a little minute, but I don't know.
So a
this
peak
part-
human, so a healed Robert Holy at peak levels through organic mixtures, alchemy,
Yeah.
life experiences,
Right.
actually becomes more aware by a lot, thus putting him in that frequency. So you can see that, because they said we're there. We're accessible 100%, as if we were standing there, except you'll have the body and we won't, and you won't be tripping. There is no trip. This
Right.
is the trip. It's this.
I think you gotta be able to wrap your mind around that shit. That's how you know what I mean?
So many have told me this, and I'm like, you guys aren't coming back, and they're like, you guys are coming here. Excuse me. That's excuse me, that's like the
You
5D.
took that one hard. I saw
Oh
it.
man, that was a rough one. That was so good. So 5D is, we talked about this last week. Is 5D really a split on another Earth? Or, and I only say this because they tell me, Frank, when you say it was on the pyramids, they put it there because they fucking saw it. That's an alien, that's an Anunnaki giant, and that's a ET. They're like, well, how come when they do it in paintings, you're like, yeah, that's not real? Or that wasn't what they meant. So if you have a UFO and a Jesus painting or a this and a that painting, they're like, at what point are those real? Because it's coming from somewhere.
They drew what
Do
they
you
saw.
think they were hired to do that artwork and then just added a ET out of all of the things you could fucking put on there?
No,
Or did they
painting-
see it and put it on there?
Paintings on walls in caves. They drew what they saw
Well, even like Michelangelo's or
to the
or the
best
art.
of their ability.
It's
and
all,
Michelangelo too. Yeah.
what-
all of the Renaissance painters. Yeah, of course.
there's
There-
so
it's
many
all
in
there,
there.
too.
So then they used an example. I don't know if you heard of the
I think that
1500s,
was divine inspiration.
or they seen something like that, or
Mhm.
maybe it was in a story somewhere. See, this is where I go, and once again, it could have been a story, and they're like, well, it looks like a metal UFO to me, right? And I go, okay, whatever, and they go, okay, 1500s, so it's like 1570. They walked outside. I don't remember the area. It was someplace in Europe, and they witnessed something like an aerial fight of some kind, a duel with multiple kinds of spheres and different crafts. So they didn't have words to describe it. So the guy tries his best to describe it and painted a picture, and the picture's kind of just dots, and it looks like a black sun,
Well,
and
it
like
was the
these
tools
things.
they had at the time,
and then, like,
right?
yeah, and like he made it like they were shooting at each other and shit. But
Mhm.
I'm like, if you walked outside, because they showed the people how the reference, how
Right.
small they would be.
Right.
And I'm like, oh my God, if you walked outside and saw this location, you'd be like, what the fuck is going on out here? Right. So they're like, okay, it's just a bunch of dots on the page. Frank thinks that one's real, but this guy who's a fucking uber artist who just happened to put some religious shit in there with the ET and the this and that, but that's not real. Somewhere you think imagination takes over and making this one fake and that one not, but it's all really coming from truth. They're all seeing it and putting it there or referencing it from something that's so crazy, but it's real to them. So they're putting it. They're like, oh, so let's do a picture of Jesus and then put 3 UFOs in it. Little, though, in the background, so nobody really notices unless you're right up on close to the painting. And then they'll understand the meaning. They're like, that shit is real. That's why they're putting it there.
I mean, you see the hieroglyphics that shows like Black Hawk helicopters and shit. Is that real
Yeah.
or is that some Photoshop?
No, I
shit?
No,
I
those-
think
those
I
are
think
real.
that's true.
So I mean,
All right, so this is what I mean. They're like, when Frank sees it in Egypt, oh, it's real. It's on the pyramid or written in some temple. Okay, so what happens if it's written in the temple in India? Is that real? Is the snake goddess real? What do you tell me now? What? Oh, that's fake. But wait, didn't you meet Kali? Oh, to see, you start to go, all right, hold up. Where do you draw the line? They go, there is no fucking line, man. It's all there. It's just being told from weirdo perspectives.
Who said that? Who said that?
You said what?
That it's all real. Who said that? Who was that
You.
person?
This
What's
was
his
the
name?
point of the whole thing. They were because
Okay.
you were like, oh, with the angel. No, yeah, you were saying it the whole time. So it's like, they said to have faith a little more instead of going, Paula was right. They're just like, dude, you got to have a little faith, a little more than you have, because you're kind of like, you can't be talking about fucking Smurfs and ETs, but this guy can't exist for any reason. Oh, but the demon exists. Wouldn't he be the opposite of the demon? Don't you need to have that to even be inside the Matrix? And I'm like, oh shit.
Well, it's like the woman in the red dress
Yeah.
in the Matrix,
Mhm.
right? He put her there.
Who you paying attention to?
Who are you paying attention to? I didn't even know there was a woman in a red dress. I watched that movie 3 times.
You know they were all having sex with her, right?
Probably.
No, I'm telling you, they were.
That's terrible.
He said it at the table. He goes, oh, look, the digital pimp hard at work. He goes, if you want to get some time with it, I could set it up.
Oh, that's terrible.
And they were all talking shit because they've all done it. Dirty motherfuckers.
That's terrible.
Yeah, so all these amazing things that go on, and it's like, well, what are you open to? It's like, well, the AI is real, but Santa is definitely fake, and Smurfs are fake, and Bigfoot's real, but UFOs are governments. That's it. Or they're demons. Aliens are demons. And that's it. It's like, no, if aliens are demons, then demons are also demons and aliens are also aliens.
That's right.
Then there's also creator beings
That's
and
right.
all kinds of crazy other beings.
That's right.
Because once you have one, you can't not have one. Once you see a crazy room full of different weirdos, mixtures, you go, oh, this is Ninja Turtles, right? Aren't they all just genetically modified chimeras? You're a turtle, you're an eagle, the one guy's a fly, one guy's a butterfly,
What would
one guy
I
was
be?
a rat.
I don't know. What would I be?
Probably be a butterfly.
Would I be just a butterfly?
No, well, you'd have powers as you transfer. You'd be a humanoid version of the animal insect.
I'm wondering. Rabbit hole. Do you believe
An
in
elemental would be like an ice person, and or a person that has flame. You understand? All the different kinds of beings and entities.
Mhm.
Someone made of wood like Groot is actually an elemental.
I know that.
Yeah,
had
which
that
is why
we
it's
had
fucked.
that discussion. Why why
I'm never gonna drop this one, Robert. You know that.
you could keep going
It's
with
fucking
it. Let's
wood.
keep going with it. All right. You know what? I need a comic book fan. I need a comic book
It's
fan
magically
stat.
enchanted.
Magically
wood.
enchanted wood cannot break.
If y'all see Avengers, he breaks Captain America's shield with this giant fucking
I don't mean just
sword.
in the movie. I mean,
Can he take that two sword and chop the axe handle of Stormbreaker? If he can, it's unworthy and a piece of shit weapon. That's just an opinion. But you're like, no, it's enchanted,
It's
so you
enchanted,
can't break it. Well, if that's the truth, then it's pretty fucking awesome. But damn,
Mhm.
I wouldn't want to put that to the test in the middle of the fight.
So then,
As a comic guy, I'm just like,
so then
I want the metal handle.
So then, shut up about it because
I can't because it drives me nuts.
Because you're going to fight me with it.
No, but I
It's
like it now
enchanted.
because I have my own stuff.
There are no comments. I see no comments. Can you check the comments, please?
What powers that enchantment is belief.
So belief,
if you're, if you got the fucking belief,
then it makes it stronger.
All right.
All right. I could get behind this. It's already strong, and then the more you believe, it makes it stronger. And if you don't believe, it just you're whack.
What, Robert Holy? What would be another word for belief? What would you say?
What were we just talking about?
Structural understanding.
No, it's much easier than that. What would be another word for belief? Like if I looked it up in the dictionary, what would
I don't know. Why don't you Google that shit and
what
fucking
would be another
educate
word
us?
for belief? What, faith? Does that sound like it goes with belief a little bit?
Well, they go hand in hand. It's like more
Yeah.
symbiotic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could look it up in Webster's.
Yeah. No, I
or
don't need to look it up.
whoever.
Okay.
Whoever decided to rewrite that shit this week. Can't believe any of it. It's digital anyway.
I love you. I'm only picking up
I know.
because I can. I'm so high.
I'm having a great time with you guys.
We've been having a great afternoon since Robert got here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I made a pizza and it came out
great.
good.
Very crispy.
Because I misunderstood that Robert Hawley doesn't like rare steak. To mean he doesn't eat meat. So
no,
now
because when
have...
he texted me, I said it says only like a rare steak and then monkey with his eyes covered emoji.
But
and then you were like, oh,
he's a vegetarian.
I was like, no, it just can't be the steak like that.
So
like I would have dabbled in some meat.
I told you like next time you said
dude,
chicken
you just
cutlet,
asked for it.
You
You
could
know what's
have
gonna
it.
happen next time.
I was gonna make steak sandwiches today for us, but,
Yeah.
but then I was like,
She was
oh
afraid to.
fuck, I gotta make a pizza because I didn't know.
Pizza's safe space.
Yeah, it's safe. Like I didn't know if he would want like a pasta primavera. Like my cat my cat just died. I could only go so
I know,
deep.
and then I felt bad. I'm like I felt like I'm putting in orders.
No,
I'll take
no.
anything but this and that.
I didn't know I would have made chicken cutlets or something like that. I didn't know.
I'll eat anything. I'm pretty I don't know what the fuck I even meant. Like when I was talking about steak.
So it was, and then
like,
yeah, but I understood totally.
I don't know.
I said, just don't give him a bloody steak. He'll be fine.
But I didn't get that, and I was like, "Oh, I guess I'm making pizza." And then it ended up working out great because the pizza came out really.
Awesome.
Didn't it? You eat so little. You don't eat a lot of food.
Yeah, man, I'm like a bird in another dimension.
My
yo.
God, not me. I'm like a fucking
Those who don't believe the
Tyrannosaurus
birds are
Rex.
real, it's boom. He's right here.
I'm a
Oh my
bluebird, I
God,
think.
I eat so much more than you
Yeah, I don't
all
know.
day.
So let me ask you a question and ask you a question. Both can answer it. How has
Okay.
okay? How is the last like year or two since you started, I guess, developing during like our ascension mind? Like, how has your food intake changed?
Oh, I'm fucking straight, pretty much straight organic, if you know, at all possible. And like, I'm just eating very lighter, man. I fuck around with avocados, like those are my shit.
You like
yo.
avocados? I
I'll
see.
eat fucking meg. I was gonna bring some. I was gonna try and
We
get a
got
Trader
some and they're
Joe's.
hard.
Oh, word. Oh,
We went
shit.
to the
We
supermarket
tried,
today.
man.
They
We
were
I was
hard.
looked.
gonna
Not
bring
one
you
soft
bananas,
avocado.
avocados, yo, melons. I thought I was gonna see a melon stand for some reason on the way
It's
down
over
here.
here on the
I
corner.
was gonna pick up some melons, yo, but
No, it's fine. You didn't need to bring any.
but you know, I just was. I don't know. It's what I got trafficked and just was like,
Yeah, the
you know,
fucking
like,
traffic lately's been terrible.
yeah,
So you just try to keep it,
I keep it
groovy.
light, yo, yeah, man.
but you could swing if you had to.
Yeah, I could, man. I cook my kids steaks. I cook, you know what I mean?
Well, you said
Ribs
something
and-
really cool before. I wasn't expecting. You were part of that collective to
Oh, we
get the
get like
meat.
a meat share. So yeah, it's like, you know, whatever a month, there's different levels. You can pay like $150 or something, and you check off the shit you like, and they'll send you like, you know, some ground beef, some, you know, whatever. Sometimes they'll throw some like blueberry sausages in there and
Well,
shit. Or
here's
like,
the crazy shit. If
but
they
it's all, you know, farm. It's not. It's
Yeah, well, this is what they were saying. They shut the system down recently. They said, "Oh, you might not be able to get meat at the store. You would still get it.
yeah, exactly.
Why? Because he's in the collective,
You're in the club, yo.
right? So you go to a farm. If you couldn't do maybe your way, the next step would be knowing the literal farmer and then saying, "Look, there's 10 of us. We chipped in and we like this. Could you just chop it up like this and we'll pick it up?" And you pay the guy what he asks.
Yeah, they do that. I know a lot of dudes like halal dudes be going out to the country and getting those. I don't know if they're blessed or they just kill them a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you do that, and a couple dudes are going on at the top. You know, they'll be like, "Yo, you want to go in on a fucking goat or something with me?" I'm like,
No, but I understand that because we have Epstein's here, which is the Jewish deli. And I was under Aya, and I was like, you love Epstein's, the Jewish deli. She literally says that to me, and I go, I love that place. And you say you never get sick when you eat there, and I'm like, yeah, I don't understand why. They're like, do you know where that meat comes from, rather than the supermarket? I'm like, no. They're like, do you know how it's blessed and all kind? And I'm like, no. And they showed it to me, and I was like, still kind of weirded out. But then I was like, yeah, it doesn't hurt my body. When I eat it from here, it hurts. Right? When I met you and you were cooking, nothing hurt really. Like it kind of went away.
exactly. That's what I was gonna say. I'll, you know, I just don't really shitty meat. You know what I mean? And like, I will eat your meat. Any fucking thing you cook will be. You know what I'm saying? It'll
Thank
be
you,
like,
Robert. I feel terrible now that I
Well,
made
we'll
a
get
pizza.
so maybe I'll get back into the meat.
No,
man.
next time I'll do it right. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
But like I said, I just don't choose to eat it, man. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's how you feel. If you feel there's something wrong.
Oh
with
no,
it,
I only cook when I'm happy
You know what I mean?
because
Then
Frank knows I went
it's
on
like-
strike for like weeks because I was just miserable. But yeah, no.
Well, love has to be in the cooking.
Oh, it's
you know what I
definitely
mean?
in my.
It's more, yeah, exactly.
When you cook, do you regardless of what you're cooking, do you like do your mantras over the food?
Yeah,
And be
man.
like,
I always
"Charge
do
this
that when I make
bitch."
shakes, yo. I fucking, you know, the shit's vibrating like fucking crazy in the blender, and I'm like, see the electricity coming out of my hand, dude, and I'm like, love,
That's awesome.
fucking
Yeah.
abundance, awesomeness. I'm gonna drink this and get fucking energized.
I do stuff like
I'm
that
like
too.
screaming into the top of my lungs. My kids are like, what the fuck are you doing?
I go, Source, charge this.
Yeah, dude.
Give
and
me the
drinking,
strength
it's like I can
to
see
have
it
more
glowing,
strength.
dude,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I fucking-
I have fun with it because they say it's your imagination. Just be involved in the now moment with it and watch the magic occur. Right? That's what you always talk about, right? Just do it. You go outside and just stick your hands in the fucking dirt. When you do that shit, magic starts to happen. So when people are like, well, I just want the magic minus the fucking dirt, it's like, well, you find
And
your,
just talk to the
your
garden.
own version
Talk to the garden
of what the
fairies.
dirt is, right? Or your own garden. Find your own fucking garden fairies.
They're
Find
happy
your own
now with you,
passion.
right? They're nice to you
Yes.
now. Right. Find your own passion. God damn it. No, you are filled with passion. All the neighbors know it when we're gardening.
Listen, if it wasn't for us, this whole fucking structure would have collapsed and no one would have fucking had the... Yeah, let me tell you something. They brought us in here because ain't no motherfucker could hold a landline like these two motherfuckers right here.
Yes,
homie.
while dry humping me while I'm tending to the fucking
doesn't
green
count.
beans. Okay.
That's a way to
So,
build energy.
Yeah, on Google Maps, my friend.
Isn't that the weirdest shit?
No.
Remember, I was like,
that is not no.
we had someone coming for Aya, and they were like, "Oh, well, we need your address." So I gave it to them, and then a minute later, I get a text, and it's a photo of me smoking a blunt right out at my gate, walking, and then they're like blowing it up, going, "Are you smoking weed?" And I'm going, "Where did you get that picture from?" And they're like, "Oh, it's on Google. You just go on and just check. You just go back and check all the snapshots." And I'm like, "What? You could look at in everybody's fucking window."
This is what I'm saying, Frank. There was one day, I swear to God, Robert Hawley. I've been saying his first and last name. I swear, I'm so high, I don't know what's happening. There was one day he was out there, and we were having coffee, and he's wearing a Dickies short sleeve. He's wearing a Dickies short sleeve button up shirt. It looks like he works at a gas station. And he's wearing, I love them, by the way. I love that he wears them, but it's just funny to me. And he's got it unbuttoned and he's got nothing on under it.
My belly's sticking out.
And he just woke up. So he's got like he's got his coffee and he's all bloated from God knows what.
I'm like, I can't even stand
and
up.
He's standing leaning up against the fence and he looks like a fucking gorilla holding a cup of coffee. I said, oh my God, he's going to be on Google Maps. They're going to think a gorilla took a coffee break for working at a gas station.
I saw the pictures. I was like, damn, I do look like that.
Oh my God.
Shit.
And I was like, please don't do that.
You're not safe in the yard.
No.
I just want to, I know we're laughing about it, but
yeah,
I was bugging the fuck out. I was like, yo, that's me. The picture from Google was just me. And you could have focused in on anything on the street and just brought it right up and go, oh, there's Frank.
That's why.
That's him right there. Look, bald head.
Please don't
smoking, walking, fatty.
Yeah,
come on,
I'm
what
sure
are you doing?
The piss spray fucking
you know what?
Extravaganza.
If the camera was closer, guess who's drinking from the fire hose next? That's all I'm saying.
My
right?
God.
The Google drone could fly overhead. I got something to squirt on those cameras.
Look, I love you for eternity. It doesn't matter to me. It's just like Jesus Christ.
No,
Frank.
I know.
We're
just having fun. But you got this is the thing. Everyone's like, okay, so they released the alien documents again, which weren't really that great.
Yeah. You're dead.
But
you're dead. Tell them about the conversation.
So my father's like, so I just want to say, since our last conversation, because the last two conversations, this was today. So 2 conversations ago, it was about a month ago. So he goes, I go, oh, the CIA released UFO shit. And he goes, yeah, well, we figured they were real, right? Yeah, so I'm like, okay, so now it's in the news now, and they released those papers, and oh no, but Frank, there's actually 150 they don't know, and they believe they're aliens. And then I just went the other day and take a look. I wasn't being political. I was just taking a look, but John Podesta was on TV for like a minute and a half on, I don't know if it was Fox or not. It was like a clip on YouTube screaming, oh, well, he wasn't screaming. He was like, President Biden, release the information for the public about the UFOs and tell us what you know. And I'm like, this guy needs to be dragged out and fucking kicked in his nuts on the White House lawn. And then the aliens should just come down and take his ass away, because we all know the game you're playing. I go, they're going to do it. It's coming. They're going to drop something that goes way beyond. It's going to take a moment, but they're going to look back at you and say, well, we never lied to you. We told you. So they can just have it happen.
It did just happen.
Oh, I know.
It
no,
just
now
happened
it's
like that. And
They're
your
like, there's
dad,
150.
then
we
your
think
dad
all-
called you and was like,
regular-
"Oh, Frank, you were right."
regular dudes, and I'm sorry, regular people that don't give a shit.
And what did he
Either
say?
way,
No one cared.
Now, a
one
watching
cares.
going, oh, so aliens are real.
Okay.
We got aliens.
Yeah.
No one.
There's no one to argue it.
Yeah, nobody even gives a shit. You would think people would be fucking.
The conversation didn't even pick up.
Who's arguing it?
This is like shows like this are talking about it. That's
There's
it.
no one to argue it.
Well, you know what? So, okay, question. So all the conspiracies are turning into truth. So conspiracy truths, facts are now here. And you're like, wow, we need some new ones because all these old ones were real. How does that make you feel? Is there any truth in that? The conspiracies all being real now, it's just a moot point.
Yeah, I mean, well, the conspiracy, that name was fucking applied to the whole shit from like the government or something. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's all been real all the time, and it's fucking.
And they just try to throw it off by making you look like a kook.
Yeah.
Wow, sneaky motherfuckers. But now it's here. So mom and pops and kids sitting at the TV are going to go, oh shit, so aliens are real. And it brings it swinging right in 100% because the next round of kids are going to be born not even knowing that you guys didn't know aliens were real.
Right.
Like, what's wrong with you guys? Of course aliens are real. Whoa.
I think they like to be called
extraterrestrials. I get in trouble all the time.
They don't like aliens because
I do
when Ellen was having her Aya experience and we were all on the deck together, I don't know where we were. We were in the house or somewhere together. And I had referred to them. We might have even been here. And I referred to them as aliens. She said they prefer to be called extraterrestrials.
Yeah, I get yelled at all the time. They go, you are the alien. You're literally you. And I'm like, me? You talking to me? They're like, yeah, we're pointing right at you, motherfucker. Look at you. I'm like, yeah. They're like, you're technically an alien.
Thank you.
The human body on the planet and the creator living, you're the fucking alien. We're ETs. We're just dudes from over here. And I'm like, all right. You're right. But they embed that whole.
Whatever. It doesn't matter.
No, because Alien, you see what they do with the movie Alien. Remember, I taught this a long time ago. Those guys are real from the Alien movies, right? So they call that demonic insectoid looking thing Aliens, the movie, right? So everyone always thinks Alien is now that thing. So your mind goes to that, done on purpose. So when these things, when the other things show up, you're like, oh, alien, and you're constantly referencing this thing and bringing it into your awareness, which is why I don't have an alien action figure.
Right, because it creates
those things, dude. One time Jimmy fucking, was like, yo, man, check this motherfucker out. Like, I'm trying to, like, I don't know if he was shamaning her, and, like, he gave me the picture and all of her shit. And I saw that thing, like, scurrying above fucking this girl. But you know what I mean? I don't think she was aware of it. He's like, you know what I mean? And like that, in that for a second, like it saw me, you know what I mean? And I was like, oh fuck. And I like put up like a fucking shield.
Yeah, like cut that off.
And then just like, do you ever do that shit? You ever get in a battle or a weird situation and then just come back to like this reality and then wonder if you're like,
I just let it go,
getting killed there? It's not like you're not, because obviously you're fucking here, but. Yeah, I guess you just dissipate from that space.
Yeah, I don't allow them the pleasure of getting me. I'm just like, we out.
Yeah.
I can't take this. Yeah, absolutely. And let me tell you, they're real. Those things. So I was sitting here with Paula, and you were in the other room. We ate the mushrooms, the 5 grams. Wow, Jimmy, by the way, that was a great experience. He sent me the best shit. And one of them spiraled out of this door right here. And then was just on the white of the door, the way you see them in film, like they're almost like they're laying in the fetal position, their version. So it's like tails in, and then it's wrapping back out. But it came out of that spiral and looked at me, and then said, "You're under contract now." It wasn't talking English; it was hissing and doing weird shit. And I heard in my head what it was saying, and then I looked over, and there was a being going, the contract's up. All contracts are up. So they're like, no, we're contracted to specifically do this to you, and you're treating us like, and I'm like, oh, these things are just going to come up in the room because I signed an agreement of some kind before I got here.
Yeah,
Done.
Not allowed.
Get the fuck out of my house. Don't let me see you again. Because when I mentally referenced at that point backwards in my life, they were there doing fucked up shit to me the whole time. I remember so many dreams where they were in my dreams and they got me, and it felt more demonic than Alien or E.T. It didn't feel like that. It felt like something from the under that came to get me, rather that came from outer space. There was this other thing happening, and when I watched it come out of a portal right in front of me, I said, "Oh, could that possibly be like the Demiurge?" A sect of creatures that mind control, and they're really not dumb
Could be
insects
anything.
that run in hordes to the hive mind. Maybe they're highly intelligent and act demonic. When you see one, you would think it's a demon. You wouldn't even think you'd be like, what? Whoa. The way they move through the, they climb across the wall. Like, I've seen all kinds of weird shit. Anyway, so they're pushing the alien agenda by putting them as the main character. And then who's the other one? Predator. Two things that'll hunt and kill you.
Right.
And they attach the name to it.
Scary to look
to
at.
keep you,
in fear.
when you hear alien,
Right.
to immediately think aliens versus predator.
Right. So you ripple a fear emotion.
Yes. And then you get worried, oh, they're going to plant eggs in me. That's what's bringing them. Whatever the things are that are infiltrating your space are getting in that way. They're probably not what we call them. It's probably something pretty basic. I was saying to you the other day, they were showing me King Solomon and the rings, and that these beings and people lived alongside of each other at one point. And this dude would put those kind of characters, like evil entities, in his ring, and he had different rings, and he would make them do his bidding.
That's
almost
terrible.
like the genie in the lamp.
That's terrible.
But it was a fuck you back to them for doing the things that they were doing to people, because everyone was there. So how do I protect them? It was almost like, how do I protect myself from Sauron? So, right, Sauron's the bad guy, Sauron.
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
how do I protect myself if I'm King Solomon from that kind of stuff, that character and his ilk, like the ring wraiths? How would you protect yourself against that?
I don't ever want to be in that situation.
That unfortunately they were.
Oh, I don't. I'd
So-
have to put my bubbles up. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So if you were just in the Shire outside, and the ring wraiths came by,
My invisibility is up.
and if it fails for one moment, your
I'm
head's
dead.
getting lopped right off.
I'm
There's
dead.
just no protection that you're going to use. It's
I'm dead.
mystical magic. Now, I'm using these as metaphorical examples of shit that was really going on. He had entities that he would put in the ring, trap them pretty much, and then be like, bitch, you listen to me. You build this, you protect us here, this and that. Now, those ring wraiths can't attack you, because this guy in my ring will fucking tear you to shreds.
Because you believe he could.
No, but it's an entity that you took from
That you've
this.
already dealt with.
You like
yeah.
pull him from
Okay,
this
I get it.
dimension and
I get
capture
it.
him here.
I get it.
And use him instead of, well, you command him. So you have to do it with intent in a certain way with certain rituals, or else it gets out.
Mhm.
That was the problem. Like, if these things escape, you're fucking dead.
Mhm.
That would be like in Shazam, the bad guy using the 7 deadly sins as the weapon. And so they would come out one at a time, and then he'd get weaker as they release from him.
Dude,
Okay.
technically you can do that. Like, you right now create a fucking being, just through meditation, but like seriously, and have a fucking being like protect you, or have I do it more
golem.
with like a ball of energy, but you can kind of shape it into a fucking being or something, or like, something
Like
that.
Juggernaut, right? And be like, yo, Juggernaut's gonna protect me. Like, that's maybe, like, I make jokes, but my mind goes to these weirdo places. So create something, the avatar to protect you from the thing you enjoy the most.
Yeah, I mean, that would be like the light way of doing it. That seems a little dark, like capturing a being and shit. You know what I'm saying?
It is dark,
So,
but
you
it
know
was
what I mean?
dark times.
Yeah.
He was the dude putting them in there and going, build the castle.
Right.
And it was just building through what me and you hopefully can do one day with manifestation and just do it. Oh, we'll just create what we want. But he's like, nah, he's gonna do it. Once again, not good or bad, just what they choose to do. It's like you can choose to do any of this stuff on the game board. There's no penalty. I mean, you might suffer a penalty through karma or whatever, but no one's judging you on the other side. So they're like, you can choose to do what you're doing, and no one here is going to say, well, fuck him for doing that. We're always going to just love you and be there. But what happens if there has magic elements, unicorns, giant spiders, something to that effect, and then you don't
I
really
just got chills when you said
you have maybe a Moses staff. We still wondering what that is. The staff, you boom, lights up, everybody runs. Well, what is that? Every fucking being in Egypt has one with an ankh maybe on it. When we have the ankh, we hold the ankh. I've used that while under, like I hold it and they're like, just focus. It has all the gems right in it already for all the chakra gems. It's like uber powerful. The copper is just like, boom. They're walking around with it in their fucking gauntlets and their fucking staff. So is it more like Gods of Egypt where they're walking around? It's really body armor, right? Because we talk about armor of Ra. Is there a point that this is real?
I think it's all real.
Well, of course, but from etheric to me.
Oh, that's the connection? Yeah, that's
right?
your
Do
connection.
I have to be light being before I can do weird shit like that? And they're like, at that level, you might not even do anything like that.
Oh,
You
it's
might
part
just
of
be
your
the light
connection,
being, do
definitely.
whatever you want. Because nothing could really at that level do anything. They were saying one Jesus is good enough, like a fully activated space Jesus that knows it's space Jesus and is cool with it and rides the vibe and doesn't go through what Jesus went through, just rides it out and unlocks, is good for one universe. Like so powerful. And there's a whole planet of yous about to pop off.
Multiverse, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, and we all get, and they describe it as the 5D effect will feel like you're leaving a movie theater and just going back to your real home. Like you were in the movie the whole time and now you're going home, but you're still on.
Right.
But everyone leaves and goes someplace different, right? We all go to the parking lot and we all drive someplace different.
Right.
Some people walk, some people take the bus.
Right.
Some people work there, stay. So they're like, you can't concern yourself with such ridiculous. You have to.
Because it doesn't matter. No.
So it makes sense if it's all real and everyone's looking from different positions. If the earth was way bigger, we were talking about this last week. This is what I want to tell you. So the earth is way bigger. All the old pictures that we get of like turtles and we're on the back and then there's some kind of bubble over it. What if and then some people call it a realm. Well, if we're on a bigger earth and we do have a section with a bubble over it and we're unaware that there's more than that, you're in a realm. It would be a flat earth because your laser is showing it flat, but it's really bigger than you're being told. All the magnetics are being controlled from underneath or around you somewhere, but you're still on a globe spinning.
Yeah.
But you're being projected an image.
You ever see the videos of the dude who mapped out the moon? Like there's craters on the moon and he maps it out to fucking like, it's a reflection to the earth. And it shows that we're in like a concave little fucking thing. And the fucking earth is really huge. It's like YouTube videos, but I was like, oh shit, this motherfucker, he'll show like those craters and it looks like whatever, a continent or something, or like it'll be a reflection of something, and he mapped it out like to show that exactly what you're talking about.
Wow.
They were like showing me recently, this is why I talked about it last week, Pangea. So they were like, yo, Frank, you know what Pangea is? And I'm like, everything connected, one big fucking rock. And they're like, yeah, look at the one big rock. Now, where's everything else? So I go, so the rest of the earth is just water? Like, I had to think for a second. And then they're like, and then the rock broke. And then it just spreads out a little like that. It doesn't envelop anything. So I was looking at it going, what the fuck is going on there? And then they pulled me back a little bit. and I saw, hey, that could be considered a realm from here. And then I go, there's a bubble. And that's what I talk about, the projection and breaking through the cathedral, the crack in the ceiling and all that shit. And then we get paintings, and there's a famous artwork with Ezekiel when he's passing through from one realm, and then it's like he's peeking into the rabbit hole the other side, and it's all color, and it's like, whoa, what the fuck is all this? They're like, all right, yeah, everything is really that colorful, awesome, better stuff, and then you're in a controlled environment in this one area.
It's like the Hunger Games.
And then slowly, those that are rising, they were doing everything metaphorically, are going to be stepping out of the bubble. So when they go, are you going to New Earth? There's just Earth. You're in this section of it.
Who says that shit about going to the west or the east?
I think there's some lady Rose, Rose. I never understood that. And they were showing me Atlantis in the rings, concentric rings, and then a bubble. And then I go, okay. And then they went backwards. And then I saw, as it reversed, Lemuria. And then there was a bubble. And they go, you guys, now we're starting over here just to show you. You're pond skipping into different areas. You're traveling east, right? If you go west, you stay or whatever. I don't remember the direction. And then I go, wait a second. So these are like areas in an amusement park. If I go to Universal Island of Adventure, there's 7 areas.
Disneyland, you ever see the fucking map?
5 parks,
For Disneyland, it's supposedly that's the real Earth map of Earth, yo. You never seen that shit? YouTube it, motherfucker. It's like the map for Disneyland. That dude was on some shit. Wasn't he hanging out with Tesla or like something?
Yes, there was some crazy stuff with Walt Disney.
Sex shit and drugs.
Yes.
They were all crazy, man.
They were doing the rituals.
So this, if you look at Disneyland, I believe the map is the real Earth.
It makes me wonder now that we're talking about this. I'm going to just say it live time. We love Thor, right? So in Thor, the world tree is everything, and then there's the 9 realms in the tree. Well, what if and Midgard being the Earth realm? Well, what if everything's on Earth in the 9 realms, and then Earth is big enough to support those bubbled in areas, and each one, I don't know, 3D of this, 5D of that, like I'm just kind of throwing it out there though. But we're going to graduate, and they keep talking about moving into New Earth, and I'm going, so we're leaving people, and they're like, no. So how are we not leaving people? Are we going to disappear? They're like, well, they're going to forget all about you, kind of. And then you're going to go back and help get them after you've acclimated, because time's going to be different here. 1 year is going to be 10 years for everyone else. I'm like, well, you're describing literally. So nobody dies. They don't go to another planet. They're like, no, everyone's still on Earth. And it's like, wait, so the no cell mitosis and separation, 2 planets, the multiverse. They're like, no, that's there too.
It's all happening.
And it's all happening right now. So I go, oh, so are we just stepping out of the glass that you put over our heads? And now that's.
Well, I think as you step into the new glass, then you still have access to the old glass. Now you step up. We're going to 5, 6. So then we help with, as you know, maybe that's how Abraham and all
they
those
said we would see them and they won't
start,
see you. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what they said to me.
It's like you just keep moving, then you come back. It's like I don't know if you'd be channeling through people or you just give them.
Well, maybe you could just see it, and then and the energy outside of the bubble is the real, and then you get to evolve in the real energy, thus giving you the telepathy. Like you get that just by being in that energy activates the whole flesh suit, which would be understanding why the relatives that have passed have said, no, you're coming in here.
Yeah.
Maybe they're all just on the other side of the fucking bubble.
Right.
And they'd say frequency and this and that and accessible, but we have to do that in here.
Right.
We have to blaze through the deception, which is the AI is in control of the image the bubble shows you, which is why the moon's never where it's supposed to be.
Ever.
And then people are like, how is the moon and the sun here at the same time? But yet it's still because everything I've ever seen is Earth is still big and round. But I've said on the first show when I saw it, it was way bigger and that they're lying about the size.
And
But I didn't know it was that much
it's
bigger.
funny
That's like,
because
whoa.
I feel like we're not getting as much sun as we got last year. Like these plants are not doing as well as my plants
Oh
did
yeah, you're
last year.
absolutely right, man.
My
Fucking
plants are
weed,
feeling it.
you know what I mean? I remember back in 10 years ago, man, I was fucking, it was different, yeah, man.
Well, the
People-
sun was yellow.
And you're getting a lot of weird, if you see people getting weird kind of anomalies. I don't know if they're growing some GMO shit, but you know what I mean? I think it has to do with the sun too, man.
It might be the interaction with the sun is what the GMO is interrupting, thus causing the mutation. They want us to be subhuman or not definable in the proper dictionary. The definition of the human species is this, this, and this, and then they're removing one of those, and then they're gonna test you and go, okay, so you literally don't have that. You know that, right? And they're going to put it right in your fucking face. But we're like 12-strand DNA. What? We were at 2, right? So they're trying to shut your ass down. Shut down. Do not let that DNA proceed in the procedure it needs to. Just like not giving us enough sun for the plants, thus making it a rougher harvest or a more difficult situation than it's been. Or maybe the sun's just different. We all know what it's going to do.
Look,
Burp.
I can tell
Right
from,
at us.
from what I tried to plant last year, and I had a barren tomato plant. That was the joke. I didn't get many tomatoes, and but I got loads of peppers by this. It's next week is July.
There's a giant pepper outside. You see it?
One pepper. I have like 4 or 5 plants, and we have the greatest soil. And you know, I just feel like the sun is not
Bang.
It's not as strong. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, last year I was growing weed and I had to put lights outside for like,
But this is what I'm saying. What's going on?
All right. Kevin's in the room. KG, Sons of the Sun. Yeah. All right. I was tossing, turning, and flipping every time I laid down, starting at 2 a.m.
Oh,
I made it from 2 to 3,
yeah.
and then it was every 15 fucking minutes. I felt like someone was injecting me with coffee, and I was just wake up and be like, what the fuck? I got up, I peed twice, and I said, am I getting old? Do I have to get my prostate checked? Like I was bugging out yesterday, remember? So I just keep peeing. I just keep drinking and keep peeing. It's like, dude, calm the fuck down. I get it. I know what I do to myself. But now I'm 18 gallons of fucking water deep, and I still feel like I'm thirsty and need more water.
I'm so sorry.
No, I'm not. I'm just throwing symptoms out. You know.
No. I'm just telling you that I
Thank you
feel
for feeling so
well
awesomely towards me.
Probably like dry mouth, yo, from all that weed.
Yeah, probably.
Shut up, Robert Hawley. Shut up.
Yeah, too. That's all I do all day, man.
Yeah, the ears ringing. How about taking a nap? You wake up, you don't really do much. You go out in the sun for a few minutes, it hits you. You're like, oh, I'm charged up, ready to go. You come inside, you're like, I gotta lay the fuck down. I think I'm gonna faint. And then even though you drank water, you didn't have coffee, you tried to test yourself with all these things, but man, there's something going on. I find myself every day around the same time needing a nap, and I'm always like, I'll be up in an hour to 2 hours. 2 hours being max. And I don't know why. It's finishes and the timer goes off, ding, and I'm like, I can't sleep for more than a fucking hour. But man, that hour, I'm douche. I'm done.
Yeah.
But they said you guys are changing. That's what this is. Transforming.
It's rough, yo.
Yeah, I don't think you need as much sleep anymore either, man. You know what I mean? I think I do that, and I try to force myself to go back to sleep. I'm all, you know what I mean?
I get it. You ever toss and turn and gotta go fucking work in the morning, and then you're like, yo, what is this shit? How am I not sleeping? And it's 8 o'clock in the morning, and then you wake up at 10. And you're like, damn, I could sleep all day today, but you can't because you got shit to do now. So get up. Weird stuff. my mother thinks we're freaks. She goes, oh, well, that's how they live. And I go, I can't live any other way. Not because I'm lazy. I'm definitely not fucking lazy. I'm like, you have no, but I'm not here to argue those points. The point is that they don't understand the lifestyle of the change, and they're watching it and they don't get it. It's just like people that don't get crypto at first, or they don't understand something, they kind of fend away from it, they make fun of it, they poo-poo on it, then they start sliding over eventually. Oh no, this shit's great. Well, you don't crypto? You don't crypto? You crypto? I know.
I'm about to buy some right now live on air. You want me to do some trading? I get trading view here. You want to do some charts? I'll do a live buy.
You could if you want to.
Okay.
Listen, wait a second.
Me too. Bitcoin went up, dude.
RSO suppositories, is RSO the stuff that goes with the MMS, Matt? Because if that's the case, then that's the stuff I have in the other room. I'll just put it on my thumb.
Yo, y'all ever get a colonic and shit? I've been wanting to get one of those for years, but I just don't have. I don't know, man.
You have to hook up with Ellen.
I never like.
And you have to.
You know what I mean?
You have to ask her. She'll tell you about it.
So,
you ask her. She'll tell you
take.
about it.
If you want to talk for a minute, we're gonna take something.
Did you have a colonic?
And then.
Did you have one?
And put it in your butt, so it's like a butt bullet that pulls everything out. No, I'm just kidding.
He's never had one. He has no idea what he's talking about.
How they do it. I teased Ellen. I don't even know what's going on.
Message Ellen. She'll tell you all about it.
She loves it.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm ready, but I've been thinking about it since like
super healthy.
The 90s and shit. Maybe like 2000.
All right. So what's the craziest thing that you've done to upgrade yourself in terms of trying to health or spiritually? Have you done anything like that somebody would look at you like, wow, he did that, didn't he? And it's like, well, that's healthy. Like drink your own pee.
Oh no.
Urine therapy.
Nah.
Could you do something like that?
No, I used to know a dude who did that, man. This Japanese dude.
I know a couple that do. Sorry. They love it. They swear by it. But what about if you ate the I can't say it, the red mushroom that has to be like cooked the right way?
It makes you sick.
It does, but then you pee and then you drink the pee, and that's what rockets you. I'm a shaman. I wouldn't do that.
It's too much work, yo. It's too much.
But they say it's the most magic. I'm like, I don't know about that, man. I kind of feel like that might be. They're like, well, that's all the vitamins that comes out.
I mean, I get regular mushrooms pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
I don't like an upgrade to them.
Golden teachers work great. You need a bigger experience. Just eat more. I don't want to boof them to fucking trip, though. I just want to chew them quick and get them down.
Yeah, any extreme shit. Not really. Yo, you've never heard about mucoid plaque?
Mucoid, that sounds
man,
like something that needs to be removed.
And it looks like black fucking goo, but it's inside of you. And I'm sorry to be like,
no,
go ahead. We talk about it all.
This is a free
but I don't know, maybe, you know what I mean? It's some like medical shit. But yeah, you see people online and they'll show you that they get it out of them, and it looks like the black goo, and it's fucking.
It is probably because it's years of everything combined. Yo, so if you hold, let's say, fear and anger or something in your belly, right? And then it gets like in your guts, and then you mix that, what would it be called? That energy, like ectoplasmic, because it develops as a real sludge inside the body after mixing with ingredients that you're eating from the preservatives and all that.
But it does, like
we've seen it.
Yeah,
no, homie, you and I've seen it come right out of people, out of me, where I'm like,
yeah,
like what? That thing's fucking fucked up.
I purged it too. It was horrible. It looked like Slimer from Ghostbusters. It was horrible.
It's a materialization of that shit in this,
and it holds like a liquid form of some kind of gelatinous, slimy, because We make jokes because people are like, oh, it's like the Ghostbusters. And it's like, no, that's based on reality. The slime where they yell at it and it becomes bad, or if they sing to it,
That's truth.
it makes the fucking
truth.
everyone starts dancing and shit. Right? The positively charged versus the negatively charged. So they play the fucking music.
Do you want
That's
to switch
awesome.
seats with me?
No, cool.
So,
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Well,
Yeah,
that
they had
stuff.
Bobby Brown. You ever see that movie Ghostbusters 2? Bobby
yeah.
Brown is doing, and there's like the kids and shit. He's like, yeah, the kids behind. There's like a river of like
The river of slime going by. That was when they made the toaster jump around, and then they started squirting the Statue of Liberty, and they come riding in on her, and they're like the positively charged slime, and they're playing the lift you up song, so it got everyone kind of dancing as they saw him. And then as you got hit with the liquid, the people on the street would start going from, they would start getting on your side. It's almost like you're enchanting them with the slime, and they get positively charged and they come to help. And it's like and they were the people had no clue what was going on, and then now they're totally involved. Wonderful, interesting stuff, all based on black goo. And see, they'll just call it pink slime in the movie, and then it's green slime if it's this, and it's pink slime if it's that. It's a blue lightsaber if it's this, it's a red lightsaber if it does that. It's all the same kind of shit.
Right. And it's slime that's positively charged. So everyone who receives an injection is positively charged when a certain frequency hits.
Yes. Which is why when people do colonics, the diet, the fasting, perfectly, then they'll show up here and still fill the bucket. Then they go, what
because
the
it's stuff
fuck?
They can't get rid of.
What, dude? There's nothing in me. What is brown and black chunk?
This is stuff you can't
slime.
do on your own. Yeah.
I've seen some shit just like in Ghostbusters that'll turn you white, right? Where you're like, there's not that much liquid in a human being. I can't, and I 4 times change a bucket.
Right.
How do you explain that? You've seen the bucket size; they're gigantic. How do you fucking put that much 4 times in a giant bucket? Where's that coming from? I think that's what we're talking about, the spiritual ectoplasmic goo.
I tried.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, it just builds towards the more you hold it in, it compacts your DNA.
Yeah.
And then the plaque is the black goo.
Physically manifests. I believe that because this week for Luna, I actually tried to do a foot soak with the intention of holding her and trying to clear her through my foot soak. And the machine wouldn't work. I tried 5 times.
I even tried twice.
And it wouldn't work. And Frank was like, no, just give me 10 minutes and let me figure this out. And I was like, no, it's not meant to be. That she had already made a decision. Frank didn't tell me. But I said, for whatever reason, it's not meant to be. Don't push it, because even if it works, I'm not going to do it, because it's not what she wants. Clearly. I tried the strangest things at the wrong sets of time. It's
not that it was the wrong sets of time. It was just something that you didn't need to do, because you're not going to heal the cat.
I know.
This is them saying the contract is to go, not to save.
No, I know that. So I realized that during the foot soak.
Well,
and then I stopped, and then I was just trying to do everything to ease and be.
That makes no sense to me. Jesus walked by fucking lepers and just was like, you're healed, you're healed, you're healed. That's some bullshit. You tell me everyone that just lined up over there is just walking around, just randomly touching people?
I think we prolonged her health for probably
random?
The whole time that she's been here, one way or another.
Like we did with Hop. Hop would have been dead by the end of the day.
Yeah.
In the heat and the sun, but we took her in and she got 3 days of being fed, sung to, washed. We watched one of the shows and she watched it with us, hidden the beard, and was like looking at the show.
I think the MMS abated it for a while, because we were giving her MMS off and on for a year, all of COVID, and she was doing really good. and then I think she just had, it was just her time.
Yeah.
So we tried everything. I mean, you know,
That's why when I smoked
it's just
DMT
bad.
over Squeak, when Squeak was dying, I took a big hit and I said, all the things shit started to transform. I said, yo, hold the fuck up. I was crying. And they were like, just stopped everything.
Mhm.
And I looked down and I saw my chakras that I could see from here. And I said, I need someone that understands cats and shit or something. And then out of my yellow chakra, the cat unwound
Oh,
and
when
then
out?
showed up right here. Remember, the living room was different. And I put Squeak on this
Oh, for
swivel
Squeak.
chair.
Yeah.
And I said, what can I do to heal little Squeak so we could save him, because of the snake man put the finger in him and now he's dying? And they were like, you want to know? And then they unfurled and became me. And then I started purring over Squeak. And then I laid in and I went, okay, that's crazy. I can't even believe I'm purring like a cat. This sounds so weird, but it's working. It's making Squeak relax. But okay, how do I heal Squeak? And they're like, you can't. You can only just do, you asked what you can do to make the cat feel better. That's all you can do. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So you guys making me purr to my cat? They're like, is it working? I go, yeah, it's actually working. And then Squeak was gone a day later and shit. So it's like, whoa. So when do we go and heal leprosy? I watched a guy online. You ever see the Japanese dude that has the little crystal wand and the kid's arm is bent and broken and he starts just going like this, and the arm just fucking the break, however it's twisted, starts moving towards his wrist, and then his hand turns fucking purple and fat, and then he goes, and his fucking hand just goes, and the kid's like, he was in pain and crying to, he's just looking, and you're like, wait, and he's in a hospital doing it. So I go, is that shit real? But Jimmy used to say to me, Frank, we'll be doing this. You'll be using a crystal to go inside someone and you'll be able to pull out the tumor with your hand, and you won't get tumor shit on your hand. You'll just be like, blip, and then it won't be on you.
Yeah, I see the videos of them doing that shit, pulling the.
It was like that kind of stuff, but fixing the arm, making it straight again. There's a one where some kind of clergy, they look African, but they sound like African, and they're dancing around a lady, and her arm is fucked up, like up here, bent, and they're throwing water on her and pulling the arm, and they're into it, man. And then her arm starts to slowly get longer, and the bend is unbending, and they're just splashing holy water on her arm, and I'm going, holy shit! And she's going, they call it getting in the spirit. And she, boom, fucking after 4-minute video, she's got her arm is perfect. And I'm looking, and they're going, see, look. Now I know the guy, my stepbrother used to catch people. You know the guys that have the magic jackets. They hit you with them, and you healed, and they knock people out. Like my stepbrother's like this giant dude, and he used to catch. He was hired to be the guy that catches the unconscious dudes that so he said he's witnessed people get healed right in front of him, not just knocked unconscious, like healed.
I have too. I was at one of those healings with, it was a woman. She didn't use a jacket, she used her hands, and she had a southern accent.
I mean, there's a lot of these reports.
Yeah, if you believe that the person has, the power, and obviously they probably do. Obviously there's probably some fucking frauds and shit. You can see the crazy ones that like
absolutely
doing, like, you ever see the wild ones that are like, but yeah, man, there's something definitely to it.
There's something going on in there, and there's a lot more reports. They're just not reported on. Reports and reported on two different things.
It's like extreme Reiki and shit.
Yeah, what happens if you have like a busted shoulder, like I have fucked up back, right? What if someone came in and was like, oh, and then was like, your back's better, your arm has cartilage.
I would be forever grateful.
Wait, what? but that's see, Shaman Jimmy and I used to go with this constantly. He used to, and not go at it, but he used to explain it to me better than I mean. It makes me wish he was here right now to explain it more. But he was like, we'll activate on a level and they'll look to you like, oh, we can do this. And then it allows them to do it. But you're like, if the picture's already kind of painted, but you're tracing the outline, thinking you're drawing it, but it's already there and you're like kind of unlocking it with the other person. So then it's like two things happening and it kind of, da-da, you're healed, but you're not really healing. I go, so then the lepers that Jesus touched weren't healing? They were healing themselves, or was that Jesus giving them the ability and power to instantly heal? What the fuck was going on?
Yeah.
Explain yourself. Explain yourself. I want Wolverine regeneration. You got to talk to me about this. I tell them, and they're like, it's contracted. So I'm like, so it's a game on every level. If it's contracted, then it's all known in advance, and you can just choose to,
I don't know,
be aware of these different things.
I don't know.
Or enter into them.
Oh yeah, I could see how that's easier. Yeah.
Yeah, not that every single moment or whatever, but like if you're gonna do something, you can choose to do it. But if you choose here not to see it because you're not aware,
if you make that
it's not your
choice,
fault.
you can't.
They said you'll just come back and do another lifetime to catch it
right
again, and if you miss it, you'll come back again and catch it again. And I'm like, I don't want to
over and over and over again.
Like I'm done. Like they told me, you could talk with your dad, or you could come back and he's your kid. And I'm like, what? And I'm not dying. I'm walking through this. They're like, so you're gonna go talk to your dad then?
And this is after.
I'm like, I'm gonna go talk to my dad.
Yeah, and again, how long is this? This is after Paula telling him, please.
It worked.
GPS sent us down his
We went
street.
on an ayahuasca trip, and the GPS took me to my father's house, right to his block, and he's in Yonkers,
and then rerouted us back to the Bronx River,
and then it rerouted us back right onto the highway.
To the
and I went, what the fuck? And then she's like, I told you.
I'm done. I'm not saying mic drop. I'm done. I'm not saying another word about it.
A few weeks later, he just popped up on the radar. I was like, oh shit, guess who's in the picture? And now we're boys. And just like that, Ling, flip it. They're like, you want to come back, or you gonna fix that shit? I'm like, I don't want to.
Yeah, I'm sure you were getting many signs, but besides that one too, though. But that was probably a fucking drastic one. Like, all right, dude, time to do it. Like, I get those shits for like months, like 2 months, and then
you finally do it.
Shiva fucking shaking your leg in a fucking. I'm like, oh.
Shakes you right out of the stupid, right? Oh shit, I missed it, didn't I? I'm being a dummy. That's what I always tell them. They're like, hey, don't be so hard on yourself. But wake the fuck up. You know, do it or be forced to repeat it
over again.
Yeah, but when you make it routine and it's proper, it's like meant for you.
Just roll over on your side. No.
No, you roll over on your side.
No, let's do this and repeat. Roll over on your side.
No, you roll over on your side.
Another scenario, sir.
I was under Aya and they were like, could you stay on your back for a moment? We just need a minute. And I was like, I feel like I'm choking. I'm just going to roll over. So I rolled on my side and it changed the visuals, but they were still talking to me. So they were right there. And the guy goes, let me try. And this Egyptian dude walks up to me in the fucking headgear and the no shirt. He's like, hi.
To be as convincing as possible because he has an Egyptian background.
I don't mean to bother you, but we're going to just need you to lay on your back for one moment. And then it'll take care of everything or whatever, but I'm going to need you to do that. And I go, yeah, that's not going to work for me. Thanks. I shook his hand and I go, now get the fuck out of here. And he went, what? And then he came back and then, oh my gosh, dude, I started choking.
And they played the same scenario over and over and
then
over.
This whole thing happened.
Stubborn motherfucker.
I felt like I was dying on my back. I was choking on.
But he had zero faith. Faithless motherfucker.
So after this whole other experience as part of this, they were like, okay, I'll give him this. I laid back and went, oh, that was fucking crazy. And then they just rolled up, did what they had to do. And they were like, was it that hard? And I was like, what? They're like, so you don't listen to your own shit. Shut up and lay down. We asked you politely. They're like, this is the problem. You guys don't listen. And then we ask you, oh no, could you just do the one moment of your time? Not like our time where it's 10 years. It's just one fucking second. Lay on your back. nah, that's not going to work for me. Go fuck your mother. And they're like, see, this is what we deal with every day with all of you.
That's why I'm a pleasure.
They're like, but that's free will. And we love you for it, but it's frustrating. But we're also, they don't get as frustrated as we do. They don't, they'll be like,
Fucking garden fairies hate him. One
they don't
hates
hate
it.
me. They just think I'm.
Garden fairy doesn't like you.
So, did you see Remo Williams?
Yeah.
Okay, Remo Williams. Remember, he was like, "Oh, he's a fucking fat hamburger. You smell like beef." He tells when he's training him, and he's like trying to explain to him like you can't be like that or whatever. And then he becomes Remo Williams, and he's fucking walking across the cement and shit and doing the. All right, that's how they act with me. Like they like the fucking hamburger. Like you fucking. You need work, homie, right?
Yeah.
And then one of them's just trying to be polite and talk, and then the other one's like, "Look who it is," and then she'll come out, and it looks like hearts develop in their eyes, Bing, whoop, like a cartoon. They fly right to. I'm like, "What's going on?" They're like, "Oh, it's mother, it's mother, it's mother, it's mother." I'm like, "Oh,"
And
they're
then
like,
I
"See, you're a
ask
fucking dick."
questions.
That's what they do to me. I go, "Come on, I don't even do that when my mother shows up." They go, "Maybe you should." Fucking fairies. I'm going to argue with you guys too now all day, but I love them. I love them. I love all of them. My favorite of the, and there's paintings that were drawn of the little ones that take shit and run
Really?
around. Those are my favorite. They could build anything.
Like the Doozers in Fraggle Rock.
Ooh, yeah, but they were like, we can build anything, but we get a lifespan of like 700 to 800 years, and then we're gone. There's no reincarnation wheel for us. Like you're out.
It's a long time though.
So that's what they were saying. They go, but we
did they get to pick their
source
people?
allows no, they have their people just like people have civilization, and then they're like, we have the technical ability to show up in a technologically advanced, what you would call craft, inside of source. You know how like you can't get into source in a piece of machinery because they don't have the soul spark, but because of what they are, they have the ability to go there and are allowed to just sit there like we would and sit there and ask the questions.
Really?
But they're like, we don't have the soul that you have. We have the lifespan of this long. They were like, you should know there's certain characters in your lifetime that had, I mean, in your past that have had like the 700-year men, but then you die and you're not dead. Your fucking spirit just steps into another body and you keep going. That's your trick. We don't get that, but we can do anything building wise. We can do it. They're like, you name something. And I was like, I don't even know. Force field. They were like, there you go. And you got your own shield here. It's technological though.
That's awesome.
So when I was talking to them, I go, what do you guys do? So when they were explaining it, I go, oh, it would explain leprechauns and all kinds of weird shit. They run around, what's this? What's this? What's this? What's this? What's this? I could build this. I could do this. You're like, oh, homie, get the fuck out of here. And they're like, show me respect and I'll chill. And you're like, I respect you. And they're like, oh, okay, creator. Thank you. Can we be of service? And I'm like, oh, that's how this works. Because when I first saw them, I wanted to kick them. They were running around my apartment. They came out of an eye that I thought it was an eye, and it was a ship, and it was just smaller. And it just showed up, popped down.
Oh, it's the truth.
The fucking little landing thing came down, and they came out. They looked great though. They were like, they weren't little. They were like this big, and they had these little outfits on. And I said, yo, who's your tailor? Who does that for you? And they were like, we do. You're gonna respect it too. And I go, what? I'll fucking kick you across the room. You disrespect me. And I said, this is my space. They go, everything belongs to everyone. So I go, no, you came into my area and appeared, and they're like, and you're gonna do.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit. So you're gonna respect us. How about that? I'm like, you guys are like little wrestlers, huh? I'm gonna respect you right now. I love you, little guy. They're like, oh, okay, cool. They stop being dicks instantly. Give a little respect, get a little respect. There's paintings of them. Remember, I went looking for them. I said, there's got to be something in history where they talk about these fucking guys. And then, blow, it's the picture that we keep up on the TV sometimes of the girl getting taken. She describes as a whole thing. That lady was like, yo, I came upon this red dot floating, and then it landed, but theirs was cylinder shaped. And they stepped out, and they started taking things out of her purse. and going, what's this? What's this? I want this. Give me this. They were doing that to me. They're touching my leg. Like, fuck off me. Like, where'd you get this? Where'd you get that? Who did that for you? I'm like, who did that for you? And they're like, we did. What you fucking nuts.
I
We
believe
do
that
everything. We're
happens
the
to
fucking
me
best.
sometimes
I'm like, oh shit.
when all my stuff falls on the floor.
Yeah.
When I drop a bunch of things on the floor, I think something's knocking shit out of my hands.
Yeah. Well, we get that at times. We've
Mhm.
had the triple play
Hmm.
where it hits me, hits you,
Yeah.
hits one of the cats, and
Yeah.
then continues through the house. And you're
Yeah.
like, and you'll have everyone up in arms. Yeah. Interesting stuff. But they are out there. It is all real. One way or another. I'm looking at you and over your shoulder at the cat in the window. Watch your foot.
Oh, is it a baby bear?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't tell. I want to look at bring it back over here for a minute. It's all real. They're all out there. They all exist on one level or another. Whatever.
Oh my god.
Whatever magic you're ready for, it's consciousness. So it's not magic like that. It's you. And you can tap in with your antenna into the surroundings and make your awareness more, thus having more experiences. If you're begging and pleading for shit, it's not going to happen. That's not how this works. You let them know you're ready to show you, and you start the path. There's things you got to do. Like you got to clean yourself up a little bit. You got to get right with yourself. And, you got to learn how to maybe breathe, do some breathing exercises,
Meditate, yo.
meditate, some mantras, sunshine, a little exercise, positivity. Where you find yourself being negative all the time, throw a flip on it. When you're doing stuff like that, Paul, just go plant in the garden. These aliens and ETs, fuck everything, doesn't matter. And we make jokes and do all that shit, but the reality is she knows they show up after you get involved. Not when you're like, show me, motherfucker. That doesn't work. Nobody wants to show you shit. They're like, well, obviously you're not ready to see anything. Because if I show you that without you building up your fortitude of whatever your flesh suit, like with Ra, when I first saw him, I almost died. I was like, dude, I can't be near you. What the fuck? And he's like, it's my, first of all, it's the astonishment. You've never seen the colors coming off the background of me. It was just pouring out. And he goes, you could look upon it, but in the astonishment, it'll kill you. So I'm not going to come out of the portal. I'm going to stay right where I am because you're okay. You're not dying. But if I come in the room more, you'll be dead. The next day, I'm outside fighting with I'm standing outside naked. I walked outside. I tell the story. I was like, I don't give a fuck no more, blah, blah, blah. My grandfather's like, oh, something wrong. And I go, he goes, you're going to scare your grandma. Go in the fucking house, old man. Da, 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 right? And I turned and Ra was standing there. It was between 10 and 12 in the afternoon. Sun was hitting me, and I'm like, hey, mind your business. I'm talking to, oh shit. He's like, how do you feel? I go, Pop, I'm putting my underwear on or whatever. Like I got dressed, and Ra was standing there like, how do you feel now? I'm like, well, why am I not dying? And then he's like, first of all, respect him because it's all you got. I go, okay, cool. He goes, okay, I'm also your father this way. He was explaining it to me. I go, okay. He goes, and you're not feeling like you're going to die. I go, no. He goes, and this is why we can't just come out and be like, hi, guys. Because if something like me comes out and your grandmother sees that, she's dead. You're just going to fall over and die. Astonishment. So these are like little injections, meditations, the right diet, listening to yourself, loving yourself, getting involved, service to self, service to others. And then you find your personalized way to do it because there's no wrong way to do it, and then enjoy what you're doing. And that's it. That's literally it. You don't have to worry about lizard man and fucking reptile, this and that, the other thing. None of that fucking matters because the next level, they're not going to be able to do shit to us. You're going to laugh at the concept. Oh, sorry, I was off screen. You're going to laugh at the concept of an 11-foot lizard. You're going to go, oh, of course. But that can't do nothing to me. They can't even come up here. It can't come out of this area to get me and do anything. So why would I ever care? I'm never going to be in that ever again. Right? So there's no need to fear. So you don't have to fear this stuff.
Once you raise your vibration, man, the shit doesn't even cross your path. Like it's not in your fucking
They can't
realm
get to you.
anymore. You're not on their radar. You're not on theirs.
They don't even know you're there.
Yeah, exactly.
The way you're out of their head. I mean, you're out of you kind of put them over here. You know, I met them, I saw them, I got threatened and chased and this and that, and everyone's trying to get me, and oh God, I'm still here. Right now, guaranteed, there's rules. I'm following the rules. So within the rules, you can't fucking touch me. You do all this other shit though. They can fucking every single moment you close your eyes, they go boo. They can do that. But you call in your people, you do your stuff. It takes you out of the realm of being in that, even though we're in the physical realm. You lift up and it's like it automatically comes off their radar. Where'd Frank go? That's it. They don't care no more because they're on to the next thing.
Right.
Because what are you going to do if something disappears? I got nothing. Okay, let's move on. That's when we talk about 5D knowing what 4D is doing, 4D's knowing what 3D is doing. Here's my take, by the way, on 4D. So 3D would be inside the spiritual chamber, where you're walking around and doing stuff. 4D would be your astral self that gets trapped in the reincarnation, that area of energy and air that's still in the bubble with you. And you hit the ceiling and you could hit the glass, but we've talked about cracking through the glass, breaking through the crack, and then freedom being on the outside. Like it's like a bigger version of what you thought you were seeing. And you're like, whoa. So that would be when you step into 5D, the physicality of stepping through that layer. So they say it's like the astral space. I believe that we're stepping through that. But how would you explain that? Either we're moving into a new thing on a giant scale, like planets flying through space, going into different areas, soaking in the energy, or that little dome piece being lifted and you just going from east to west. I don't know. You guys think about this out there.
I think the whole thing's going east to west. I think once you accomplish one thing, there's another thing.
Like a linear jump.
And
like
then,
in the video game.
well, for us, because we're human and that's how we understand things. So it goes from one ladder rung to another. Whether you're going up or down or east or like, it doesn't matter. You're making movements. You know, like if you're stuck in traffic, do you want to be slowly creeping or do you want to be standing still? You know, that's up to you. So every achievement is incremental. So like getting to 5D, it's like when you personally declared, I won't be disrespected anymore.
Yeah.
And then you personally declared
wealth.
I love myself. And then you personally declared I love my animals. And you personally declared all these things and then you got them. So they were like checkpoints for you. But they're not only checkpoints, they're like unlocking
they're things that
points
raise
too.
your vibration. So it's not just things.
Yeah. So
It's
5D
ways
is
to
just
do it.
another thing you're entering.
Well, this is what I mean. We're going to cross an area of some kind where 4D, I think, is just the mental astral dream space that's trappable, where they say it's polluted, it's dirty. There are thought form entities everywhere. Well, what if they were just containing us like genies in a bottle, and then that spiritual energy, like in Ghostbusters, remember, it explodes and fucking ghosts come flying out of everything. Wow, holy shit, they opened the generator, whatever. You reach a pressure point inside and it's like graduation time. And you got to explain to people, look, man, you got to be in charge of yourself. You're making your fears. So these thought form entities, each person has their own Freddy Krueger or the monster under the bed or in the closet. You're responsible for cleaning that. So for the spiritual bubble not to break,
right,
with all that pressure,
right,
you got to start cleaning up the spiritual energy to graduate, so that you could watch the levels of human just doing all these things. The mantras start coming, people start grounding in nature and doing all kinds of shit, and then they start taking back the ley lines by just loving each other and loving self, loving others, helping one another, helping self, doing things that are getting them into good positions without hurting anyone and realizing it's not really a fucking competition. There's enough for everyone. And the magic just starts to enhance that change. But you are really taking control of every spiritual thought that went into the negative shit that got trapped in that area with everybody else's. That's what you're really doing by running your feet in the grass and saying, I love you today and I love myself. It's like the fear monster that was gobbling you up at 6 years old now gets disoriented and oh, I guess I have no power here, and boom, disappears. The gods in the thing with Perseus where he's fighting the gods were like, we don't work no more, they don't pray to us, we got no fucking energy.
Oh, Clash of the Titans.
What? So they're
I'm
either
here.
archonic thief pieces of shit, or they're thought form entities that we're giving power to.
That's why we don't talk about certain things.
No, I'm saying, so they realize that in that movie Clash of the Titans, they say it, oh, we're nothing anymore. That's why they were like, we must make them fear. That's why they send the Kraken. He goes, because they were challenging him, my daughter is more beautiful than Andromeda. It was like, yo, bitch, don't say that. And then she showed up, the mother, and was like, oh, that's what you think? And it's like, yeah, you're going to sacrifice her at the end of the month that everyone dies. How's that with the Kraken?
Yeah, I think that's Maggie Smith. Again, look, she looked old in that movie, and that movie was in 1980.
Oh, she scared me. That was 1982.
That was 1982, and this is McGonagall and Harry Potter, and she looked old in that movie. It's like, I guess she's one of those ladies that just always looked old. She wasn't old in 1982.
When you start withholding prayer from something that has nothing to do with actual praying to like God, like giving your power away to an entity, when you stop doing that, that entity has to leave from you. It's not going to argue points with you, whatever. It moves on to something that it could get. But as we all start taking self-responsibility, we give the character no more credence. No, this character's bullshit. I am source. I am the creator. It is me, not some external character. If everyone started doing that, that external thing that was created disappears. Everyone forgets about it. In Clash of the Titans, everyone was forgetting about them. They were dropping Zeus. They dropped Zeus's thing into the sea, and they were pulling up on the boat, and they were like, "What the fuck are these guys doing?" And immediately Hades showed up and started attacking everyone, and he killed the dude's parents. I knew he was going, ha 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 ha. I was like, dude, that is the most fucked up shit. And they're like, well, if they drop all the statues and don't give a fuck, we die. Well, I didn't know that until the second movie where they were saying we die if that happens. There's no afterlife. We just don't exist no more. And I'm like, oh, they're thought form entities. We could just say, no, Zeus, no more for you. And then he just goes, well, I guess I have no power. What? Oh, we were giving you that. Oh, shit. So you're telling me the storm from Thor's hammer is really my lightning and thunder. Oh, no. You can't have that no more. Sorry. Boom. He drops the hammer. He's not worthy. Give me that fucking thing. And I pick it up. I got a big red cape now and fucking shiny helmet.
Enchanted wood.
And my enchanted wood axe. I'd live in a place called Nittelheim or Middle Earth. Or Neverdelir. And then his axe is Stormbreaker. But his hammer is Mjolnir. It makes no sense. It's like, which doesn't fit in here?
This conversation makes no sense.
Nothing makes sense in this world.
Okay.
Anyway, so this is it. I just want to thank you guys. This was just a fun conversation tonight.
Do you have anything you want to say?
No. Cool.
No.
I had no topic for tonight, so
Yeah.
it was just round fun.
I'm good.
That's right. And fucking just having a good time.
Do you guys want pizza?
I want something.
I'll put the oven on. I'll make it
We have
hot.
ice cream too.
Oh, we have Robert.
Yo, y'all ever see these?
Oh,
motherfuckers?
Entenmann's, yeah.
Entenmann's. If you know about those, then you know about.
What's up, Della? All right, so we're going east. West is 3D.
Oh, is that a lemon fucking on the end?
No, it's
it's just a glazed.
You could have it.
All right.
G-Hog.
Eat it.
Eat
Eat it.
Space
We have ice
Jesus said to
cream, too.
me, nobody talks about the 30 years prior. It's just I'm born and this crazy shit goes on, and now I'm 33 and then I got to give my life up and I have 12 apostles. He's like, what did I do from here to there that no one ever talks about? And I'm like, I don't know. He's like, I fucking
Learned
shit.
shit.
With Buddha, drank fucking acacia, did all kinds of crazy shit, unlocked my flesh suit. That's what made me different, but I'm exactly the same thing as you. I just went and I was able to do it. That was my thing, but you're all going to do it. So it was like, oh shit. So he's like, yeah, so I'm not God. You're source. I'm source. We're source. We're source. But we're individuals, but you unlock the suit. Now you're God, right? So it's how humans think. It's the human condition.
I get it.
That's why they said no more Jesus. What are you going to do if everyone pops up randomly, starts popping off, and you all can do it? You know, it starts like spreading in a good way, like the antivirus to the system. We're at that point of the show. Okay. Well, Paula says,
oh no, you can keep going on.
I think Jesus used the shroom in the water when he turned wine to water to wine and shit. I think it was a little shroom water and shit. People were like, "Ooh, fuck.
Oh,
what
maybe
the
it
fuck
was
is going on? This is great.
Totally.
It's the best party I've ever
It's
been
the
to.
best wine. They probably didn't know, you know what I mean? They mistook that shit for fucking wine.
Well, they talk about Moses being in the DMT in the acacia fields when they were on fire, and that was the smoke from the burning bush. I knew a girl. She reminded me of the burning bush. Moses. She was old. She had gray hairs. She was on fire, though. Sorry.
Shut up, Frank.
That's what's up. All right. I'm just having fun. I love you guys so much. Have a great night tonight.
Robert Hawley, do you want popcorn? Not Frank.
Yo, Kev and I are like 93.2% done with the first fat track, and it's so fat. So I just want to shout that out. It's coming.
No one cares.
No, they care, motherfucker. That's a cake that you're gonna eat.
Just kidding.
Eat the cake.
I heard it. I love it.
Yeah, we're bringing the fun back. So stay safe, stay awesome, stay fearless, and remember, the universe rewards bravery. Thank you, Robert Hawley, the Golden Lantern in the house.
Thank you, Robert Hawley.
You can check out higher frequency is the
Higher frequency.
that's your
my
YouTube
handle.
Page.
Yeah.
All right, you got to go check it out. Naturally, he's all over the Fearless Room, and I always post on my page, and I'll put a link up to his stuff in the description down below. Get it down below. Never mind. Have a great night.
I'll be over here. Okay.
And have a great rest of the weekend. Stay safe, stay awesome, and enjoy the new energy. It's great. Peace.